Hey, this is MJ, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make our little loopy tree ornaments. The yarn that I'm using for this pattern is Mary Maxim Starlit Sparkle. It's a really fun festive yarn for Christmas decor, and I'll be working with the color Topaz in today's tutorial. This is a worsted weight yarn, and I'll have the links in the description box on where you can purchase. I'll be using a 5mm Furls gold metal streamline crochet hook in today's tutorial. So I'm also using some gold beads for the top, and I just used a little bit of hot glue to glue that to just keep it secure, and I'm just working with some of this gold metallic thread for hanging it on the tree. If you wanted, you could always add some cinnamon sticks and glue them in as well if you want your trees to have a little festive smell to them. So we'll begin with a magic ring. Wrap the yarn around your index finger 3 times, take your crochet hook, sliding it through all 3 loops. Grab the first loop, pulling it through, and chain 1. We'll work 5 single crochet in the ring. Now we want to pull our ring tight. So I'm going to take my tail, I'm going to start to give it a pull. You're going to see that this loop has not pulled in, only this loop. So take your loop that has started to pull, give it a tug. It's going to pull that other loop. Then you can take your tail pulling it, and you'll have a nice tight and secure ring. So next we'll slip stitch in our first single crochet to join. So I just like to count back to make sure I don't miss the stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's usually squished in there a little bit. Sometimes you need to give it even a little tug with your yarn needle. Whoops. To get it a little bit loosened. It is tight when we're working with these small circles. So slip stitch to join. We'll chain 1. And we're going to work around 1 single crochet per stitch. So 5 stitches. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll slip stitch in our first single crochet to join. And that gets the top of the little tree started. Now we need to start our loop round. So we're chaining 14 for our loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 14 chains. You can see here, this is our very first stitch. We're going to be single crocheting through the front loop of that stitch only, working a single crochet. Then we'll chain 14. Okay, I have 14 chains. We'll single crochet through the front loop only of the next stitch. Chain 14. Single crochet through the front loop. Chain 14. And you're going to continue this all the way around so you have 5 loop stitches. So I've worked all the way around. I have my 5 loops. Now what I like to do is find that first single crochet. We know that this is our first stitch. So here's the first loop, we single crocheted. If you flip this back, you want to find the back loop of that stitch, which is right here, and we'll slip stitch to join. into that back loop, chain one, and work a single crochet in the first stitch, and we're single crocheting through the back loops around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the last one, 5. I know it's really tight with just a few stitches, but we'll start increasing on the next round. I'm actually going to add 1 additional stitch into the 5th stitch to bring it up to 6. So now we have 6 stitches. There's the first single crochet we're going to join. Chain 1. You can also start just shoving the tail into the top as we go. I need to make it, I think, a little bit longer first. So now we're going to start our increase round. So I'll work 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches and then 2 in the next. 1 in the next 2, and then 2 in the next. Slip stitch in the first single crochet to join, chain 1, and now we have 8 stitches. This round we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, there's 8, slip stitch in our first single crochet to join and chain 1. At this point, I'm just going to shove my tail into the top of the tree. And we're going to do another increase. So this time, basically our increases are going to be split. So we have 8 stitches. We will increase in the 4th stitch and the 8th stitch. And that's how the increase pattern works as the tree gets bigger. So 1, 2, 3, and then increase in the 4th stitch. 1, 2, 3, and increase in the next stitch. So now we've increased to 10 stitches. I'm going to slip stitch to join, and then we're back to our loop stitch round. So we're going to have 4 rounds between each of the loops. So the first round is worked in the back loop, then we do an increase, then we do a non-increase, and then we do an increase. Then we do a loop stitch. So we're going to chain 14, and we single crochet in the front loop only of the first stitch. Chain 14, single crochet in the front loop only of the next stitch. So you'll have the same number of loops made as you have stitches. So we have 10, so we'll make 10 loops. So I'm going to continue around and meet you up at the end. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. I have 10 loops, and again, we need to slip stitch to join. I always go to that first single crochet. Make sure, I mean, you can see the loop there, but sometimes it can get tricky. Everything's pretty squishy at the beginning. You could think this is the loop over here, but this is the back loop. Slip stitch to join, chain 1. And it's always important to count as you go around. You can see here's all the loops. It's what you're working into, but it's a good idea to count so you don't miss any. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll then slip stitch to join, chain 1, and then we're going to do an increase. So we have 10 stitches. Half of 10 is 5, so we're going to increase on the 5th stitch and the 10th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's 5, so we'll add an extra stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th again. So the last stitch, we add 2. Slip stitch to join, chain 1, and this next round I'll just work 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So we'll chain 1. We're now on our increase round, so this is the 4th round between the loops. We have 12 stitches, so we're going to do those increases on the 6th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we increase. Okay, so I finished working around, I increased on the last stitch, and now we're back to our loop round. So what we're going to do for our ornament is continuing in this manner. We're going to work up so that we have a total of 4 loop rounds. Okay, so I worked up to my 18 loops. I worked around that first round through the back loop only at 18 stitches, and I'll do a final increase. You don't have to increase this one, but I'm just going to go ahead and follow our pattern as we've been working it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So in the 9th stitch, I will do my increase, and in the 18th stitch. So I'm going to continue working that around. Then I'm going to do one final round at 20 stitches, just working 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and then I'll meet you back up. Okay, so once you work all the way around, we're going to slip stitch to join. We can then fasten off and weave in this tail. I like to go to the inside of the tree. Okay, so now you can see that our tree isn't looking the best until we fix all of the loops. So you're going to need to finger block. What I find the fastest and easiest way to do this, these are a little smaller than our bigger trees, but still, if you wet it, give it a little steam, it will just help to get all of the loops laying nice and flat. So I'm going to go and switch over to my sink area, and I'll give you a little demonstration on how this is done. And then once we get the loops all laying nicely, we'll give it a spray with the stiffening fabric stiffening spray. And then we'll just do one little final touch up with our loops and then let it dry. Okay, so you can see how nice it looks now that we have the stiffening spray and all of our loops. You just want to make sure that you're happy with how they look because they're going to stiffen up, and then this is going to help hold your loops in place over time. So I'm going to go ahead and let that dry, and then we can add our bead and our string, and maybe we'll even add that little cinnamon stick to the bottom because I think that's going to be a nice little touch to our trees. Okay, so here's my little tree once it's dried. Now, if you want to just leave it sitting just like this, you could add a little star to the top. Just add a little bit of glue, hot glue, and attach the star. Now, I'm making mine all as hanging ornaments, so I've added the cinnamon stick, the little gold bead, and the string to the top. So I've done sets of 2 for each of my colors. You could do really whatever color you want and however many ornaments you think you need. So you just want to take some of your thread . I use my yarn needle to get through the top of the tree to push this through. This is a bit of a big needle. You could use a smaller needle to get through a little bit easier. What I find is just folding it in half makes it easy to get this through. Now you could also do a wooden bead depending on the type of theme you're going with for your tree. If you want a little bit more rustic look, adding a wooden bead, or really any type of topper you want. Now what I like to do is add a little bit of glue to hold this in place. Just a little tiny bit. And I don't want my loop too long just because I find a shorter loop hangs a little bit better on the tree, so I'm keeping my loop fairly short, and then you can just trim off any excess. And then I'm going to add my cinnamon stick as well. So I'm just going to take my glue gun and just generously put some glue around. And then we're going to stick that. So when it's hanging, you can see the little bit of cinnamon stick. It gives a nice festive smell. But if you are wanting it to stand up, you don't want to add the stick. So there's your finished little loopy tree ornament. I think they are adorable for your Christmas tree, but also would be really cute to have sitting out around the home as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tap the bell to stay updated on all my new videos and tutorials. Make sure to check the description box below the video for all the links. Thanks so much, guys. Have an awesome day.